some days I can't believe this is real life.
Oh, it's real. Pinch yourself.
Oh, it's real. What are you doing to him?
He's doing it. My dog's having an issue right now. Come on.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Not you, Colt. Hey, guys. If you're jumping on saying good morning so we know you're here, Jason's like hurting my dog. So that's terrifying.
Your dog.
Anyway, we won't get into that here. I will say that prior to going live, Jason was singing and I got some really hysterical screenshots. So if y'all want me to drop those in the comments, I can definitely do so. We have an exciting topic. I don't know a better way to kick off 2023 than your predictions for what 2023 is going to bring as far as SEO. There is no crystal ball when it comes to digital marketing. All we can do is aggregate data, look at the facts, talk to other experts in the industry, research, and see what we think is going to be successful for you guys. So we've taken a list of 5 SEO predictions that we think are going to impact you specifically as real estate investors, things that impact where you're marketing or how you're marketing, and we're making a prediction. We'll come back to this video at the end of the year and see how spot on or how far off we were. But as of right now, this is what we see going into 2023 and what you can do for your SEO to prepare for these things, these changes, these impacts. That's what I got. Jace, you want to kick it off with number 1? We'll jump right into it. What is your first prediction for SEO for real estate investors in 2023?
All right. Number 1 is EAT will play a more prominent role.
You guys know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We talked about EAT, what it is, what it means. Everything that Google has been updating in their releases has to do with EAT. Jace, run them through the acronym again, because I always forget one of the E's.
I was just trying to remember it.
Experience, authority, expertise, experience. Good morning.
Oh no, what was the other one? Experience,
authority,
authoritativeness, and trust.
Trustworthiness. Right. So basically, Google is looking at you in all of these capacities, in all of your online presence, not just your website, but your entire online presence, through the eyes of EAT. Do you have these components? And they are ranking you accordingly. Again, this is not 10 years ago where all you have to do is keyword stuff your website anymore. Google is smart. They're looking at your entire online presence, your GBP, where you're being featured at, what platforms you're talking on, who you're engaging with. All of these things play into EAT. You better believe that if Google spent multiple updates, multiple algorithm changes, focusing on these things and talking about these things, it is going to impact heavily. The weight of that is going to be heavy this year. So what are you going to see for real estate investors, Jason? How is it going to impact them, and what can they do about it?
Well, it's just going to be, I mean, if it's affecting real estate investors, it's affecting everybody. And like we talked about a couple weeks ago, just building out your personal entity, okay, building out your business entity. That includes like a very good About Us page or an author page on your website to tell who is actually creating this content. Google wants to attach that to an actual author. They want to know who is creating that content. They want to know that it's not AI or it's just PLR articles or whatever. They want to attach it to an author. And the more that author is an expert in their area, okay, the more heavily they're going to weigh it and give you a boost in rankings. Okay. And I believe it's just, I mean, over the last couple of years, it's been becoming a stronger signal. It's just going to get even more and more stronger because of AI that's out right now. AI is, I don't know, we're actually going to talk that in number 2, but it's just a big thing right now. And Google wants to know that you are the one writing it, and they just want to attach it to an author. Okay. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that, of course. We're going to be talking more about that in the next couple of weeks of like building out your personal entity. That's like with your LinkedIn account, with a Linktree account, all of your different social media properties, attach them all together. And then, of course, having your business entity being completely separate, and then you're connecting the two. Google reads all of this stuff, and it's just going to become more and more important. There's lots and lots of articles out there that you guys can read about as well about EAT. So if you ever want to learn that, you can just simply Google what is EAT, Google SEO, blah, blah, blah. You'll find plenty of stuff to read up on it.
All right. So the elephant in the room, anyone who's following anything about digital marketing has heard rumblings about AI. Everyone is talking about AI. Everyone from artists to writers to business owners. What is coming with AI? What can we anticipate? And how is Google going to play with AI? Because if Google's updates, their biggest shifts last year were about helpful content and it being more personal, more of a person, a trustworthy person. What are we going to expect to see from AI in 2023?
Well, that is my second thing. And AI content will be like playing with fire. Okay. AI content is huge right now. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about GPT, OpenAI, all that stuff. A lot of people are posting different things about it. And it's a really fun tool. It's really, really cool what it can do. I believe you can use it the right way, but I believe most people will use it the wrong way. Okay. And Google does not, I don't want to say they don't like it. They don't mind AI content in certain areas, but on your website, in your blog post, on your About Us page, in your content, they don't really like it. Okay. And I think they're going to hammer AI sites this year. There's going to be very specific updates that are targeting AI content. If you go to like Chat GPT and start spitting out different things, like you can tell it to write a 500-word article and it'll do it. Right? It's pretty cool.
And they're not bad, guys. They're actually, for what we've tried and seen, it is not bad. So it is so tempting. We've talked about it. We've weighed the pros and cons to go down the rabbit hole of using that because it is so efficient and it is really decent content.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's not 100% unique content. Okay. Like it is, but Google and other tools out there can tell that it is generated by OpenAI, Chat GPT. Okay. Because Chat GPT is pulling all of its info from a repository, I guess you could call it. All these articles that it's scraped, and they're putting different things together to make these answers. Right. So there's ways that you can do it. You can like attach a couple different tools. Like you can grab your article out of Chat GPT and then you can run it through Quillbot and have it paraphrase it. And then you can check it in originality.ai to make sure that it's not being detected. But, there's just a lot of steps that you'd have to do. And it's just easier and better just to write it yourself or have someone write it. Okay. Have a human actually write out your content. It's just going to be safer in the long run, because if you start putting a whole bunch of AI content on your website and those Google algorithms do come around, they're going to smack you. Okay. Yeah. And then you're going to have to start back from scratch. And Google remembers which site they hit. Okay. That's the thing.
We've experienced that. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing that we want you guys to take into this year. So many people last year and the year before, there was a big algorithm change the year before as well, that impacted reviews big time. You need to diversify your SEO efforts. So do not go all in on one thing. Do not decide this is the year I'm going to kill it on my blog, so I'm going to use AI to crank out hundreds of blogs. First of all, you know that much content isn't great for anybody. But don't go all in on that. Don't go all in on backlinks. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Don't go all in on any one thing. Make sure you have a little bit of everything. So that way, if Google does come along and smack it, you're not destroyed. You're not out of business. Keep in mind, at the end of the day, you have to think about, how are you generating your leads? How are you able to feed your family? And if you are doing something that is putting your lead generating opportunity in jeopardy, you are putting the risk of not being able to feed your family. I know that sounds dramatic, but we've seen it happen to clients who relied solely on Facebook ads to generate leads, and then their Facebook accounts get banned, and all of a sudden they have no deals, no income, nothing. We've seen it happen to people that relied solely on things from their GBP, and then they lost a whole bunch of Google reviews and their rankings dropped. You need to make sure that in 2023, you are diversifying these efforts so you have a really strong SEO foundation that is kind of, I don't want to say algorithm proof, but is more resilient against algorithm changes.
Very well spoken. Yes.
Thanks.
Very true.
Go ahead. Do you have more you want to hit on AI? I know we're going to talk about this one in the upcoming weeks because it is such a big change in 2023. Do you want to dive into that more, or do you want to hit number 3?
No, I'm done with AI.
Okay.
We will be. Just don't be tempted. Like, it's a big thing right now. Everybody's going crazy. Like, you go on Twitter or even on Facebook, a lot of people are posting different questions that they're putting in there and what kind of answers they're getting. It's great. It's fun to play with, but I would not slap a whole bunch of that content on your website. It's very detectable by Google's tools. The human, you can't tell that it's AI written. It's very good content. Everything that it's spit out to me, it looks 100% real. There's no like, oh, that's a computer writing that. No, it's very, very good. But Google and very easy tools, doesn't even have to be something as strong as Google, can tell that it is generated AI content. So
yes,
if these cheap little $20 a month tools can figure it out, Google can figure it out. Okay. All right. So number 3. Oh, and okay. There's a lot of asterisks right here that I want you to be clear on. Okay. Please do not misconstrue my words here. Okay. Backlinks. Okay. Number 3 is backlinks will be less important. Okay. But trust me, they are still very important. Okay. I say they will be less important because Google is just going to weigh other things more heavily, other signals like your overall content on your website, EAT signals, and a few other different things. Okay. So backlinks, still very important. Okay. But they'll just have, Google will just weigh them less important. Now, the relevance of the backlink will be very good. Like, if you can get the relevance right, obviously these are real estate investing websites that we're trying to link to. If you can get a link from a real estate investing blog or something like that, that is a very, very good link. Okay. So you still want to build links. All right. But the overall importance of building backlinks will just be a little bit less important, if that makes sense.
Yep. So if you are putting efforts into your backlinks, make sure you're trying to do your niche or industry relevant backlinks, like Jay just said, getting on something like Trusted REI or some kind of industry relevant site for your backlink, or your geo relevance, something that's in your local community. If you're going to put the time and energy behind it, do it in those ways. And again, just to reiterate, this is all a part of having that diverse SEO foundation. We're not saying don't do any backlinks at all. They still have a place. It's all a part of the big picture of SEO. Google's changes are just prioritizing a heavier weight on some other things. So if you're looking at your marketing budget for 2023 and trying to figure out where should I allocate time or resources, maybe shift your thought process on where you're putting backlinks in that mix. We're doing the same.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, focus on building out your EAT, your entity, your personal and your business one, instead of building a few more guest posts. All right. Mm-hmm. Because that Google EAT is going to be very, very heavily weighed. Okay. So yeah, backlinks, the fundamental backlinks especially are still important, like your social media properties, your citations, and of course, like your geo and your niche directory sites, things like that. So, all right. Anything else on that one, Danielle?
Nope. Number 4.
All right. Number 4. 4 is a fun one. I like 4.
It's because you are a YouTube nerd. If you guys want to know Jason's heart and soul, he geeks out so hard on YouTube. It's ridiculous. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's like his little hidden superpower. Go ahead.
I like YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. So YouTube SEO will be more in demand. Okay. We have never talked about YouTube SEO here in the group, which we probably should, because I look at a lot of your guys' channels, if they even exist, and a lot of them are not optimized properly. There's a lot of little hidden things inside YouTube settings that you can do with your channels to get a lot more juice. So that is something we will talk about. But YouTube SEO will be more in demand simply because YouTube is competing with TikTok and Instagram. Okay. Currently, YouTube is the second biggest search engine, okay, other than Google itself. All right. And YouTube is Google's product, if you did not know this. Okay. But TikTok is so big right now. And so is Instagram. And Instagram will be more because they're changing how their search works on videos and stuff. But TikTok's the big one right now because a lot of people are going to TikTok and searching for content. They're searching for recipes. They're searching for helpful tips on certain things or whatever, instead of going to YouTube. So since Google owns YouTube, they're going to make it more prominent, right? You used to be able to, it was like 5 or 6 years ago, you could put up a video on YouTube and have it ranking on the first page of Google within seconds. It was awesome. But slowly they kind of dialed that back because they wanted other things showing up in the search. But I think, hopefully, that will be becoming more prominent. They'll be putting more of the YouTube videos in search. So they get more traffic back to YouTube, of course. And that means having your YouTube video titles, the descriptions, hashtags in the descriptions, even the channel settings, having it all SEO optimized. So you're getting the most bang for your buck, so to speak. So I like that one a lot.
One thing that's really interesting and is kind of a game changer when you're thinking about your content and where you're putting your efforts throughout the week or month as you're allocating, again, time and funds for your marketing, is look at your channels, look at your YouTube, Facebook, etc., and think to yourself, is this social media or is this a search engine? And that's a common misconception. When you're thinking about it, think to yourself, how do people interact or react to the content on this platform? So for instance, people go on Facebook to see pictures of their family and friends. It is a very social media platform. When people are going to YouTube, they're going to seek out content. That is what makes it a search engine. Same thing with TikTok. A lot of people initially, and it was, probably would have considered TikTok social media. But now, like Jason said, people are going there to seek out information, especially because it's quick, it's fast, the time is quick. You get answers very rapidly versus long form media, which is kind of dying away a little bit because our attention spans are that of a gnat. But people are going to TikTok and they're searching for these quick answers. And because there's so much validation behind it between engagement and things that make videos, I don't want to say rank, but for lack of better terms, like trend, you're getting the validation that this is the best information very, very quickly. So when you're producing your content for these different channels, think about, how do I make it content that is going to show up for someone who is searching for it? So as a real estate investor, producing content about what problems you solve or how things work or showing your properties, those are the things that people are going to be seeking out that are relevant to what you do.
Correct.
That's all. Search engine versus social media. Keep it in mind when you're producing your content.
Yeah. I mean, don't think of TikTok as just a dancing videos, because that's what it started out as, but it's not that anymore. Of course that's still going on, but there's a lot of just education on TikTok and people are searching for it. So YouTube will become more and more important. All right. What's the next one?
Last but not least,
this is something we have talked about before. We have videos on this. Sites with unoptimized images will suffer more. Okay. this is kind of like a, I don't know, I don't want to say it's a boring one, but it is what it is. All right. Because accessibility features, all right, for the blind, for the deaf, is becoming more and more important. Google wants to see accessibility features on these websites. Okay. And a lot of people don't realize that the alt text on an image is what the blind use to read the website. Okay. So when they're, I don't know what tool they're using to look at a website or whatever, but they are hearing audibly, okay, what your alt text is, because your alt text is supposed to describe the image. It's not supposed to be stuffed with keywords, although you can, but it's supposed to describe the image so they can, visualize it, right? So a lot of people don't edit the alt text. I'm not a victim. What is the word? I've done that before. Like, I forget to change my alt text a lot on my websites. So that's something that we have to go back and change on a lot of different things. But even changing the file name, guys, the file name is huge. I see it happen all the time. You guys put the logo on your website and you have the file name of your logo as logo 2 version, logo version 3 wide or something like that. Guys, do you know what Google Images are? Those are ranking images. Okay. The easiest way to rank an image for your website is to just make your logo the file, make the file name your brand name. So Moss Technologies logo, you can put logo on it, but just put Moss Technologies or whatever your brand name is. Actually put that in the file name, because Google indexes that. They can attach it, make the connection that this is your picture. It goes to your website. And when someone is Googling your brand, your images can show up instead of other people. So those are just easy wins, that help out with Google search, but also are going to help out with the accessibility, which is just another ranking signal that Google's going to be looking at. They want to make sure that all of these images are optimized. So
we kind of nerd out over this a little bit, if you guys can't tell. Some of these things, though, like Jason was saying, the images, it's one of those little things that I guarantee your competitors aren't doing, that if you can start stacking up one little thing here, one little thing there, by the end of the year, when we go back and look at your ranking reports again, you're going to see a significant difference in how you turned out throughout the year. Last week, if you guys missed it, I know it was holiday time, everyone's running around dealing with family things. Go back and watch the video. We talk about a couple screen grabs that we want you to get of your branded keyword search, your local city keyword search. And then if you do that and drop it in the comments, I'll go ahead and run 2 additional reports for you through Ahrefs, which is a platform that most people don't have. As an agency, it's important to us, but most real estate investors would not spend the money to have Ahrefs. So I will run the reports for you in there to give you additional data and insight. We're going to sit down and we're going to look at those quarterly with you guys to see what is working for you, what's not, and maybe give you some tips and tricks each quarter that you can implement for your business to move forward in 2023. We want to see you guys have massive growth and improvement in your rankings by the end of this year. We want to see what we can do to make that happen. So go watch last week's video if you haven't. Grab those 2 screenshots. It takes literally a minute a piece. That way we can use that as a benchmark for your success throughout the next quarters of this year. Anything else you want to add or disclaimers you want to throw out there for our 5 predictions for 2023?
No, I don't think so. For people that are just getting on right now, just a little quick, go back through it real quick. EAT will play a more prominent role. AI content will be like playing with fire. Just don't do it. Backlinks are still very important, but will be a little bit less important. Okay. Other signals are taking more weight. Okay. Google's looking at those other signals more heavily. Okay. YouTube SEO will be more in demand because they're competing with TikTok. And sites with unoptimized images will suffer more. So Yeah, no, that's about it. If you guys have questions, let us know. I'm looking at something. Kelly is saying, any progress with Google API index? Yes, Kelly. I've been playing with that. It's working very, very well. Getting pages removed, like old blogs that you've deleted, tends to work slower than getting pages actually indexed, but it is working. You can reach out to me if you have specific questions on that, of course. Were there any other questions in there?
Um, Someone at the very beginning, I think it might have been Bruce, was asking about engagement on socials as far as the priority, I'm guessing importance in 2023. What do we think we'll see on that?
Engagement on socials. So
Yeah, comments, responses, content production.
I would say engagement on socials it's important, but it's not more important than getting the traffic from socials. Because obviously, what you're doing on social is to drive traffic to your website or a different property or something like that. And Google does look at the referral traffic. So if you have a whole bunch of traffic from Facebook or your Google business post or YouTube traffic coming in, they're going to look at that and they'll be like, okay, this is a pretty important page or article that you're sending traffic to because you have all these people coming to it from social media. It's so important that they're leaving Facebook to come to this, this blog article, right? So getting that traffic is pretty important. Obviously you do want to have engagement on socials, getting likes, getting shares or whatnot, but the end goal is to get traffic, right? So that's what I would say on that.
Kelly just asked, what's the best way to check if your blog flags as AI written?
That would be originality.ai. Let me make sure that's right. At least that, yes. I'll put it in the chat. This is the tool I use. It's credit based. It's very, 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 very cheap though. But yeah, if you're having blogs written by somebody, hopefully they're not giving you AI content.
Here's the other thing, guys. We know some of you are going to be tempted to play with AI content. We get it. We're not dumb to it. Sometimes the path of least resistance is tempting and you'll run with it until you get slapped. Again, we're saying don't do it. That is our professional opinion. But if you're going to do it, be smart and have your content checked before you're doing it. If you're going to play anyway, despite our best efforts to stop you, be as smart as possible about it.
Yeah, definitely. Kelly, I just dropped it in there for you. It's very simple. You just like pop in. I think you can pop in the URL or you can pop in text and it'll just tell you if it's AI content or not. That other tool I mentioned was Quillbot. I don't know if it's quillbot.com or what, but it's quillbot.com. It's pretty cool. You can drop in content and you can tell it to paraphrase. It's also a paid tool. It's not very expensive, but you can tell it to paraphrase and it will take your paragraph or whatever, paraphrase it, swap some things around, and then you take that content that Quillbot gave you, put that into Originally AI, and it's always clean. It says it's undetected by AI. It's 100% unique content. So that's a pretty cool workaround. But once again, we're getting deep in the weeds with this stuff. So just be careful. I'm not suggesting you go down that road.
Well, and here's the thing, with anything new, Google is going to be high alert on it. They are going to be watching every move that is being made with AI content. So it is going to be under the microscope. And just because these services work right now doesn't mean that something isn't going to change that flips AI content on its head. Be prepared for it. Google is going to come after it. If it is going to impact the consumer experience, the user experience, which is what Google is all about, they are going to find a way to figure it out. So I think we've warned extensively on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anything else you got? Any other questions? I don't see anything else rolling in. I think we're good for now, so we can go ahead and cut. But if you guys watch this on the replay, drop a comment below. Let us know what questions you have, what things you're hearing and seeing. If there's anything that you've heard that you want to hear us talk about, answer your questions. Make sure that you're getting credible SEO info for this year, making good decisions. We'll go from there.
Sounds good. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hearing us ramble on. But yeah, this is all very important stuff. AI means what exactly? Artificial intelligence.
So AI content is content that is basically being written or generated by softwares or programs, or Jace, you can probably talk more to the technical of that, but it's not being written by an actual human being. It's taking data from multiple websites, specifically what we're talking about. They're pulling data from different relevant websites to create written content artificially.
Correct. Yeah, it's not human generated. It's all by software, computers, code. It's all being generated. So that's AI content. Yeah. But yeah, okay. If you have questions, drop them in. We always go back and answer them. Try to give you as many resources as possible. But we will see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.